Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I keep getting this question behind the scenes, and I don't know how many times I can say it. YouTube, I'm sorry for those of you that opened so many gold crystals, and it was before the boost was actually active. It is so true that at noon Central Standard Time or 10 Pacific Time yesterday, it was supposed to be active. We have to just learn as a community, even though we shouldn't have to, that when something is supposed to go live, we have to wait to confirm it. The only exception to this that I can think of that's a pro player move is if something goes live like a Cavalier Nexus crystal and the drop rates are wrong and you swoop in and buy them before they can be corrected, because then you're entitled to compensation. Yesterday was the opposite of that. So many people swooped in, and I've seen the same kind of comment over and over again about this topic behind the scenes where people say, well, you should just know when the gold isn't there. You shouldn't have to be opening over 10 crystals or 100 crystals or 1,000 crystals to know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy, because Lord knows that can be true. But when I go to open these uncollected golden crystals or these, what are the regular gold crystals? I try to pop them as fast as possible. I don't try to think about that. So we're going to test it out. You can see the drop rates for these. Minimum of 3,200 gold, and that's all it says. So we're going to open everything. We're going to have no gold crystals after this. This video is going to be golden, literally. And again, my goal is to just wipe out my stash, which I guess is the point of all this. The irony about the trade-in store is that Kabam is really doing it to make their servers faster by getting you to trade in a bunch of items for a smaller number of items. But I've heard from so many people who either didn't do the math correctly or felt a little, shall we say, duped. And so they have, in some ways, more 5-star Awakening gems now than they did before it, which is kind of ironic, but I guess not a bad problem to have. I still, when it comes to that trade-in store, and if you missed the reasons why, I like the concept of it, and I know the 6-star Awakening Gem Crystal remains like the second rarest item in the game, next to the generic 6-star Awakening Gem, and of course, Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic. But why they had to make it 5 generic for that? I mean, I guess you could have said they could make it 4, since other things are 3, but 5 is just such a high price to pay for a generic. But I guess... the other thing that we're going to talk about in the video today is that unlike the, when you trade in Tier 4 Class Catalyst on a normal day, you get the option, you get the ability to get any class but the class you traded in. And with the 6-star Awakening Gem, it's not the case. So you can trade in, let's say you get a tech, and you're like, dang, I want anything but tech. So you trade in the tech. Well, you can open the 6-star Awakening Gem Crystal, and it just gives you another tech, which I think is total BS and a huge flaw in the trade-in system. And you put in all that work, and you end up just getting the same gem that you wanted to trade in. That fundamentally makes zero sense. It just does. It just does. All right, so we have powered on through. By the way, I will say this. I have seen a much faster game from upgrading from the iPhone 10, which I still really appreciated, to the iPhone 13 Pro. I also do want to say that one thing that I've noticed on both phones, and I was going to make a video about this, but I wanted to preview. Have you ever been trying to fight in the arena, and when you're trying to put teams on, like, the formation, the matchup, it keeps automatically exiting you out of the screen? I thought that was like just an iPhone 10 issue, and then it's doing the same thing on my iPhone 13. I think, do Android people have the same problem? Where you back out without wanting to back out, and then you try to get back in, and it backs you out of that screen. It reminds me of like trying to climb a mountain, and then somebody just pushes you back down to the bottom when you don't even know somebody's there. It's a very frustrating bug, especially because the arena is such a annoying thing already. All right, so we have over 2 million gold from this, and these are going to be the lowest. I'm starting with the lowest, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of gold. That, in the gold trade-in, would get you a 6-star Nexus. 2.4 million. But that number is going to be nothing compared to this. I mean, this thing is going to be outrageously high. Look at that. This is This is going to be Scrooge McDuck, Bill Gates level wealth. I'm going to have to start buying off media companies now after this. Man, over 1 million gold. This is going to be dumb. This is going to be over 20 million gold, maybe? I mean, maybe more than that. This is just crazy. And we don't have Cavalier gold crystals yet. We certainly don't have Thronebreaker gold crystals. I think Kabam's been afraid to do anything past uncollected, which I clearly get these pretty easily from events, so shouldn't complain. But man, I just want to be able to somehow magically take all this gold I'm opening right now as the test and send it to people who need it. I've heard from some of you who are completely out of gold. You're not just gold poor, you're gold bankrupt. You're like the U.S. Treasury. This is getting pretty dark. All right, we still have 700 to open, and we are almost 5 million gold. And this is just a crazy amount. I do wish that, like, if Kabam really wanted to fast things up, they could make you pop like 100 at a time. You know, wouldn't that be nice to just open 800 in like a span of 8 pops? But I doubt that'll ever be the case. It's tough because with champions, until they have the technology, because you think about it, it's kind of weird that we can only reveal 10 at a time. Like, that seems like we should have the capability to do more, but that's just how the game's always been. Because if you could pop 100, and I do think they have to have the capability of that now, because we've seen like the wish list Nexus that gave you more than 10 options. Even if you upgraded it to, imagine if you could pop 20 crystals at a time, that would just go by so much faster. But the servers, which also feel like at times they're running on hamster wheels, just won't cooperate. I'm really excited to get to about 450, because that is essentially halfway through, give or take two crystals. My thought was we'd get about 20 million gold, and we are right on pace. I mean, just saying the phrase 20 million gold out loud, keep in mind that Kabam still gives you, for most retail price offers for $100, 1 million gold. So 20 million gold is $2,000 worth of gold. And we are over the 10 million mark halfway through. We are on pace for 20 million gold. And this is not counting the 2 million gold we opened in the other crystals, and we still have this small amount of, I think, even more gold per crystal than these. So I have 386 million gold. It's dumb. I don't know what to do with it. We could have gold trade-in weekends every weekend for the next 2 months, and I'd still not run out. And that's just, it's a cry for help from an arena addict. I am not saying this is a flex. If you're gold poor, in a lot of ways, that's a reflection that you have a better life than I do. But, you know, when you have a YouTube channel and you want to make more content, you want to open more crystals and live streams, even like I have fun opening premiums on live streams. I wouldn't have fun opening premiums without YouTube. I'd probably open them right away. But it's just fun to you know, it's sort of like if you enjoy betting, you can put a penny down on a horse and still get a thrill out of it. That's kind of, to me, it's kind of like opening crystals, you know. It's that dopamine factor of sometimes it's just fun to gather around with friends and see what happens. Place some bets on how many 4-stars you're going to get, even if the game kabams you. Oh, man. Over 390 million now in my stash. And we are still on pace for 20 million gold from this. And I opened all my gold crystals the last time we had a gold boost, which I think was this year, right? Was it not this year? So I can't believe how fast I was able to accumulate these. Just crazy. All right, 17 million gold. Let's see if we get to 20 million. We'll know which half had the more gold for sure. I just can't believe this number. It's so big. That's an internet phrase also. Speaking of big, thanks for those of you who were just enjoying the commentary. Maybe you're driving, you know? Shout out to those. I get a lot of people who say, Prof, I listen to your videos as like podcasts while I drive, and I also, you're my excuse to take restroom breaks. You know, you got to have a legacy in your life somehow. We got 20 million gold, y'all. Now the question is, can we get to 21 million? Huh? Can we get 1 million over our goal? Oh, we might get there. We got there. Shout out to my man Tim Duncan, number 21. 21,307,000 gold. That is stupid. And then we just have the small amount, less than 100, I think, of the last ones. Where are they? There we are. Greater Golden Crystals. Let's see how these go. Oh. It's funny. I barely have these, and they don't even... I don't even know where you get these. They just kind of sometimes pop up. Well, 396 million gold. Anybody need some gold? That was crazy. Longer than usual video, but hey, we tested it out. I got, in total, over 23 million gold in 10 minutes. Crazy. Have a good rest of your day, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Sorry for those of you who got screwed when it was supposed to, turn to the new percentages, and it totally didn't.